It's 11 a.m. in Seoul. I'm Oh Soo-young at the Arirang News Center. We're moments away from bringing you a live briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the coronavirus situation here in the country. Very soon we'll cut into the briefing with simultaneous interpretation provided for you in English by our very own Kim Hyo-sun. Now, the Director of Health Policy Yoon Tae-oh is expected to be giving us the details on the coronavirus situation here in South Korea, filling us in on the number of new infections seen as of midnight, and also what kind of efforts the government is making to contain the virus, especially after the long holiday period. Now we're going to go straight into the briefing room where Director General Yoon Tae-oh is going to take to the podium very shortly. And of course, we've seen the number of daily infections go down to double digits from 3 digits very recently. And it looks like he's taken to the podium, so he'll be updating us on the status quo here in South Korea.
Let us now begin our regular briefing for October 14th, Wednesday. As of today midnight, we have a total of 53 new local infections, and among them in the metropolitan area, we have 46 cases and 7 in the non-metropolitan areas. And we have 31 new imported cases, and a total caseload today we have 84. And we also had 4 additional fatalities, and I extend my deepest condolences to the deceased and the members of the bereaved families. We have seen a recovery of the lower number of cases of the testings during the holidays. However, we are having a stable daily cases hovering around 50 to 60, which is not a big increase from the previous weeks. And it is quite early for us to stay complacent considering the long incubation period of the virus. And we could also assess that we do not have a higher effect of the infections spreading during Chuseok and the Hangul Day. And we also have many people visiting the public multi-use facilities as well as outdoor activities with the ease of the social distancing measures. However, please note that this measure is aimed at enabling us to strike a balance between our quarantine measures and the daily routines. And we ask you to have a higher sense of responsibility as an individual. And please abide by quarantine measures when you take use of the multi-use facilities and the services that they follow. And please exert a higher sense of social responsibility to this end. Centering around the metropolitan area, we are continuing to witness cluster infections, and in the non-metropolitan area, we also continue to witness sporadic cluster outbreaks. So this is why we ask you to stay vigilant continuously, and you need to always wear face masks, and please do not go to the crowded and confined spaces. And as for the metropolitan area, not only including the eateries and cafes, but also at wedding halls and private academies, we have in place stringent quarantine measures, and we ask you to comply stringently with these measures at each of these venues that you visit. And during this great autumn weather, we believe that many people will be enjoying outdoor activities, and we have higher concerns of a possible outbreak. And the government is going to provide a pan-government effort to preemptively prepare for a possible outbreak and to stabilize the number of daily infections going forward. To this end, starting from the 17th of October and until November 15th, we will have a special crackdown period, and we will be carrying out quarantine measures, more strict quarantine measures for national public parks as well as other temples as well. And we also ask you to refrain from going on long travels, however, but enjoy the beautiful autumn weather at nearby parks. And if you have in mind travel plans, please travel in small groups of members of family members only. And if you have to go with a large group of people, please have one person to be responsible for quarantine measures. And this person should also confirm all of the symptoms that are also being exhibited by individuals within that group, and also need to comply with the quarantine measures even at the vehicle and when visiting destinations. And also they need to have a great list of the members that are going on such a tour. And we will also intensify our quarantine measures for these tourist destinations. And while you are on these tourism, we will also have mandates all of these large-scale buses, limousine buses, which are provided on rental basis. They will be mandatory to have a QR code entry code for all of the people who use the bus, and we will also imply stern legal measures for those who breach such measures as well. And at the rest stops at the expressways, we will also have dividers put in place, and we will have intensified quarantine measures there as well. And we will also have similar measures at train stations as well. And as for the major facilities that are used during the maple viewing period, we will be reducing the congestion there, and we will also be advising people to utilize their cars as well as the parking spaces. And as for the major public national parks, and we will have the reservations online in advance as well. And as for the cafes and restaurants and nightlife establishments near these tourist destinations, we will also intensify quarantine measures there as well. And after you return back from your travel, please take care of your own conditions. And if you have any symptoms like fever or respiratory symptoms, please get tested as soon as possible. And if you have confirmed that a person within your group of travel has confirmed positive, please let the government officials be notified of the list of members who have gone on that tour as well. And we will also provide detailed quarantine measures for each of the tourist destinations, and this will be publicized for the public, and please refer to the press kit for detailed information. And as for the professional sports games, we will be resuming the admittance of the spectators, and starting from Monday, as we ease the social level distancing to level 1, we will be admitting spectators to the stadium, however limiting the capacity to 30% of their total capacity. However, all of these spectators need to abide by quarantine measures, including reserving tickets in advance, and also having a QR code entry system, and also having a strict temperature check as well. And we will also have designated seatings, and they will be sitting in a zigzag format. And the spectators, they will be prohibited from drinking or consuming food aside from water. And also, we will be monitoring the continuous outbreak here in Korea, and we will also consider flexible admittance of the spectators at these stadiums as well. And as for the spectators who are going to enjoy the professional sports games, we ask you to comply with the quarantine measures going forward as well. And with the COVID-19 outbreak, we have also seen a large increase of the online consumer transactions, and we have also spotted a 3 times increase in the fraud in utilizing these online transactions. And we will also intensify our crackdown against these measures, and we will also have an expanded compensation for these platforms so that we can enable more consumers to get compensated after they receive such a fraud products. And we will be exerting our full efforts to reduce any damages that are inflicted by the consumers. And in order to carry out our daily routines, it is very important that we make it a habit to also exert and practice quarantine measures going forward. Please note that we have the amendment to the Infectious Disease Act, and we will have the mandatory face mask wearing. And for those who do not wear a face mask at public spaces, they will be also subject to fines. And this will be having a grace period of 30 days and will also be in effect starting mid-November. And as we are mandating all of the people to wear face masks at hospitals and public transportation, as well as public rallies, we ask you to comply with these measures. And it is very important that you participate and cooperate in these measures. In order for us to have a long-term response against COVID-19, we ask for your cooperation going forward as well. The weather is getting chilly, and we ask you to also monitor your conditions, please, because you could also get cold symptoms. And if you have any symptoms like fever or respiratory symptoms, please go to a nearby screening clinic and get tested. Thank you very much.
네, 오늘 0시 기준 국내 발생 환자는
That was Yoon Tae-oh, the Director General of Health Policy for the South Korean government, who just confirmed that there were 84 new cases of the coronavirus in South Korea as of midnight on Wednesday. That brings the accumulated total to 24,889. There were unfortunately 4 additional deaths, bringing the death toll to 438. Well, that does it for our coverage of this morning's briefing. We will be back shortly, though, with our regular newscast at midday Korea time with Mark Broom. Bye for now.